There's a silent killer out there, and it's destroying people from the inside. It's the reason so many people feel stuck, insecure, and miserable. It's not lack of talent. It's not lack of opportunity. It's not even failure. It's comparison. You wake up in the morning, scroll through social media, and suddenly you feel like you're behind in life. You see someone on vacation, someone buying a new car, someone celebrating success. Meanwhile, you're just trying to figure things out. And in that moment, you start questioning yourself. Why am I not there yet? Why is my life not like theirs? Am I doing something wrong? Stop. This is a trap, a deadly trap that will steal your happiness, your drive, and your power. Listen to me. You are on your own path. Your journey is not supposed to look like anyone else's. Some people start fast and burn out. Some take years before they break through. Some struggle in silence before they win in public. But if you waste your time looking at what everyone else is doing, you will miss the opportunities that are right in front of you. Understand this, comparison kills confidence. The moment you compare yourself to someone else, you're telling yourself that you're not enough. And if you keep repeating that message, guess what? You'll start believing it. But here's the truth. You have everything you need to succeed. Everything. But if you're too focused on someone else's journey, you'll never unlock the power inside you. Instead of comparing, use it as fuel. The success of others is not proof of your failure. It's proof that success is possible, that it can be done. And if it can be done, you can do it too. But not by chasing someone else's dream. Not by trying to be like them. By becoming the absolute best version of you. Your only competition is the person in the mirror. Your only goal should be to be better than yesterday. That's it. That's how real progress happens. Not by comparing, not by feeling small, not by doubting yourself, but by rising, by learning, by growing, one step at a time. The next time you catch yourself comparing, remember this: no one else can do what you are meant to do. Stay in your lane, focus on your mission, and watch how your life transforms. There was once a young man who spent every waking moment looking at others, measuring his progress against theirs. He would see his childhood friends buying new homes, driving fancy cars, landing dream jobs, and living what looked like perfect lives. Every time he scrolled through social media, his heart sank a little deeper. He felt like he was behind, like life was moving forward for everyone except him. One day, frustrated and overwhelmed, he went to visit his grandfather, a man who had lived through decades of challenges, victories, and losses. The old man could see the frustration in his grandson's eyes, the weight he was carrying. So he took him to his backyard, where a massive oak tree stood tall beside a small bamboo plant. "Look at these two," his grandfather said, pointing at the trees. "That oak tree has been growing for decades. It started as a tiny acorn, but over time, with sun, rain, and patience, it grew into this mighty force. Now look at the bamboo. It spent years underground before it even broke through the soil. Nothing seemed to be happening, no progress, no growth that anyone could see. But beneath the surface, its roots were growing stronger, deeper, and when it finally emerged, it shot up faster than anything around it." Two different journeys, two different timelines, both powerful in their own way. The young man stood in silence, letting the words sink in. That's exactly how life works. Some people seem to rise quickly, achieving success at a young age. Others take longer, facing setbacks, learning lessons, and building strength beneath the surface before their breakthrough comes. But here's the truth. There is no right timeline. There is no race. There is only your journey. Yet so many people waste their lives watching others, trying to match their pace, feeling like they are behind. But behind what? Who set the rules? Who decided that success must happen by a certain age? Who said your life must look like anyone else's? The danger of comparison is that it makes you blind to your own growth. It tricks you into believing that because your path looks different, it must be wrong. But difference is not failure, it's uniqueness. It's your personal blueprint for success. Think about some of the greatest people in history. Some found success early, like Mozart, who composed music as a child. Others took time to find their true calling. Colonel Sanders was in his 60s when he started KFC. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. Stan Lee, the creator of Marvel, was nearly 40 when he created his first successful comic book. These people didn't let timelines dictate their greatness. They focused on their own paths. Most people don't do that. Most people are too busy looking left and right, measuring themselves against others instead of moving forward. That's why they stay stuck. That's why they feel lost. Because the more you compare, the more you rob yourself of your own progress. Imagine running a marathon but constantly turning your head to see where everyone else is. You won't run at your best speed. You won't focus on your own strides. You'll trip, you'll lose momentum, and eventually you'll burn out. But the people who win, they lock in. They focus forward. They trust that their training, their preparation, and their persistence will get them to the finish line. You have to do the same. Stop looking at where others are. Stop feeling like you're behind. Stop letting someone else's success make you doubt your own. Because here's the truth. If you were meant to have their life, you would. But you weren't. You were meant for something different, something that only you can accomplish. Every single struggle you've faced, every obstacle, every delay, every moment of frustration, it's all part of your unique path. Maybe you had to go through that heartbreak so you could build resilience. Maybe you had to struggle financially so you could learn to be resourceful. Maybe your business had to fail so you could develop the skills for the next one. Nothing is wasted if you're willing to learn from it. Think about the strongest, most resilient people you know. They didn't get there by having an easy road. They got there by embracing their journey, by refusing to compare, by understanding that their struggles were shaping them into something greater. You must do the same. The moment you stop comparing, something incredible happens. You gain power. Power over your thoughts, power over your emotions, power over your actions. You stop feeling bitter about what others have, and instead you get inspired by what's possible. You stop feeling lost and start focusing on your own path. You stop wasting energy worrying about timelines and start using that energy to move forward. And then one day, after years of struggle, growth, and persistence, you'll look back and realize something. You weren't behind at all. You were exactly where you were supposed to be. Your journey wasn't slow. It was right on time. The setbacks weren't failures. They were stepping stones. And every moment you spent comparing yourself was a moment wasted because you had greatness in you all along. So from this moment forward, make a decision. Decide to run your own race. Decide to trust your path. Decide to let go of comparison and embrace your unique journey. Because when you do, you'll see what's been true all along. You were never behind. You were simply becoming the person you were meant to be. There was once a boy who dreamed of becoming a great artist. Every day, he would pick up his pencil and sketch for hours, lost in his imagination, creating worlds no one else could see. But one day, he came across an online forum where artists from all over the world share their work. As he scrolled, he saw breathtaking paintings, masterpieces that looked like they belonged in a museum. He felt something shift inside him, a deep sinking feeling. Why doesn't my art look like that? Will I ever be that good? Maybe I'm just not talented enough. His excitement faded, his passion dulled. He started drawing less and less until eventually he stopped altogether. That's the power of comparison. It sneaks into your mind and whispers lies. It tells you that because someone else is ahead, you are behind. It makes you believe that their success means there is no room for yours. It takes the joy you once had for something you loved and turns it into doubt, hesitation, and eventually surrender. And the worst part, it's never based on reality. Because when you compare yourself to someone else, you're not comparing the full picture. You see their success, their highlights, their best moments. But you don't see what it took for them to get there. You don't see the nights they stayed up working, the failures they had to overcome, the moments when they doubted themselves, just like you do now. Confidence is not something you get by measuring yourself against others. Confidence is built through self-mastery, through owning your strengths, embracing your weaknesses, and committing to your own path. Think about a world-class athlete. A true champion doesn't spend their time obsessing over their competitors. They don't step onto the track worrying about the runner next to them. No, they focus on their training, their discipline, their growth. They study their own weaknesses and turn them into strengths. They wake up every day not asking, am I better than them? But instead, am I better than I was yesterday? Because that's the only competition that matters. Yet so many people waste their energy looking at others instead of building themselves. They look at someone with a successful business and feel like a failure instead of learning how to improve their own skills. They see someone in incredible shape and feel ashamed of their progress instead of focusing on their own journey. They let comparison steal their confidence when in reality, it should be fueling them. But here's the truth. No one else can do what you are meant to do. Your gifts, your talents, your perspective, your experiences, these are things that no one else on this planet has. But if you spend all your time looking at others, you will never unlock them. Instead of comparison, choose mastery. If you want confidence, stop looking left and right and start looking within. Focus on growth. Focus on learning. Focus on taking small, consistent steps forward. Because confidence isn't something you are given, it's something you earn. It comes from proving to yourself over and over again that you can do hard things. It comes from the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you push through even when you don't feel like it. It comes from the times you fail, learn, and keep going anyway. The moment you shift your focus from comparison to self-mastery, everything changes. You stop feeling jealous and start feeling inspired. You stop doubting yourself and start taking action. You stop feeling behind and start realizing that you are exactly where you need to be. So the next time you catch yourself comparing, remember this. Confidence is not built by looking at others. It's built by looking at yourself, mastering your craft, and becoming the person you were always meant to be. There was once a man who worked tirelessly on his business, pouring his heart and soul into it. He dreamed of success, of building something great, of proving to himself and the world that he was capable of more. But no matter how hard he worked, it seemed like others were always ahead. One day, he scrolled through his phone and saw an old friend celebrating a massive achievement. His company had just hit a major milestone and the success was evident. Pictures of luxury, posts filled with gratitude, and comments from people praising him flooded the screen. The man felt something deep inside, a sharp sting in his chest, jealousy. He tried to shake it off, but it was there, gnawing at him. Why not me, he thought. Why is he winning while I'm still struggling? The frustration built up. He wanted to be happy for his friend, but he couldn't. All he could feel was resentment, and that's where most people stop. They let jealousy turn into bitterness, into self-doubt, into an excuse to quit. They tell themselves it's not fair. They convince themselves that others have an advantage, that they weren't given the same opportunities, that success is reserved for a select few. But that's the wrong way to see it, because jealousy is not the enemy. It's a signal, a sign that something inside you is waking up, that deep down, you know you're capable of more. And if you channel it the right way, it can become the most powerful fuel you've ever had. Instead of looking at someone else's success as a reminder of what you don't have, start seeing it as proof that greatness is possible. Think about it. If someone else has done it, it means it can be done. If someone else has built a business, made millions, transformed their life, it means the path exists. And if the path exists, you can walk it too. But only if you let go of resentment and replace it with hunger. Hunger to learn, hunger to grow, hunger to put in the work, not just when you feel like it, but every single day. Jealousy is energy, it's fire. And fire can do one of two things. It can burn you down, or it can ignite something inside you that refuses to be stopped. The choice is yours. There was another man years ago who experienced this same feeling. He was broke, struggling, watching others succeed while he felt stuck. But instead of letting jealousy break him, he turned it into fuel. He studied the successful people around him. He asked questions. He read books. He worked harder than he ever had before. And over time, something changed. He stopped seeing others as competition and started seeing them as proof that his dreams were possible. Every time he felt that sting of jealousy, he used it as a reminder to level up, to push forward, to step into the version of himself that he knew he could become. And years later, when he finally reached his goals, he looked back and realized every moment of jealousy had been a gift. It had pushed him, challenged him, forced him to grow in ways he never would have if he had let resentment take over. So the next time you feel that sting when you see someone else winning, don't suppress suppress it. Don't let it turn into self-doubt. Use it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this person? What did they do differently? How can I apply that to my own journey? Because the truth is, success leaves clues. And if you're willing to put in the work, to stay hungry, to let every moment of jealousy turn into motivation instead of defeat, you won't just be inspired by success, you will create it. A young man once had a dream of becoming a great writer. He imagined himself crafting brilliant stories, creating worlds that would captivate millions. He had the vision, the passion, and the desire to succeed. But every time he sat down to write, something stopped him. He would stare at the blank page, his mind racing with doubt. The words that came out didn't feel good enough. They weren't perfect, so he deleted them and promised himself he'd try again another day. When inspiration struck, when he was better, when he was ready, days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and before he knew it, a year had passed, and he had nothing to show for it. The problem wasn't his talent. It wasn't his ambition. It was his obsession with perfection. Perfection is a lie. It's a trap that keeps people stuck, waiting for the right moment, the right conditions, the right version of themselves to finally take action. And in that waiting, they lose time, they lose momentum, they lose confidence. Because here's the truth, success is not about being perfect. It's about making progress. Every great athlete, every world-class performer, every successful entrepreneur didn't get there by chasing perfection. They got there by improving just a little bit every single day, 1% better. It's all it takes. But most people don't see it that way. They see their goal in its final form and feel overwhelmed. They look at where they are and where they want to be, and the gap feels impossible to close. So instead of starting, they freeze. They tell themselves, I'll wait until I'm ready. But waiting is just another word for wasting. The ones who actually succeed are not the ones who get it perfect. They are the ones who keep going even when it's messy, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's not their best. A gym beginner doesn't walk in expecting to lift the heaviest weights on day one. They start small, they build strength, they show up consistently, and over time they transform. A musician doesn't pick up an instrument and play flawlessly. They play badly at first, they make mistakes, but they keep practicing, and each day they improve. A business owner doesn't launch a perfect company from the start. They make errors, they adjust, they learn, and little by little, they build something great. No one starts at the top. No one begins as the best. The ones who do become the best, they understand that it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress day after day, even when they don't feel like it. Think about a stonecutter striking a rock. He hits it once, nothing happens. He hits it 10 times, still no crack. But then on the 101st strike, the rock splits open. Was it that one final hit that made the difference? No. It was all the hits before it, the ones that seemed like they weren't doing anything, that led to the breakthrough. That's how progress works. Every rep at the gym, every hour spent learning, every small step forward, it all adds up even when you can't see it, even when it feels slow, even when you doubt if it's working. 1% better every day. That's it. At first it won't seem like much, but over time those small improvements compound. And one day you wake up and realize you become the person you once dreamed of being, not because you chased perfection, but because you chose progress over and over again. Think about the legends, the icons, the game changers of history. Do you think they were perfect from the start? Do you think they waited until everything was just right before they took action? No, they started when they were scared. They started when they were uncertain. They started when they had nothing but a dream and the fire inside them to keep going. Success doesn't come to the ones who wait for perfection. It comes to the ones who show up day after day, giving their best, even when their best isn't flawless. Because here's the truth, the world doesn't need more perfectionists. It needs more doers. It needs more people who take that first step, who fall and get back up, who understand that mastery isn't built overnight. It's built in the small, quiet moments when no one is watching. You've got to understand something. You were not born to be average. You were not put on this earth to sit on the sidelines watching others live the life you dream about. You have greatness in you, but that greatness will never be unlocked if you keep waiting for the perfect time, the perfect skill set, the perfect opportunity. There is no perfect time. The time is now. How many dreams have been buried because someone was afraid to start? How many ideas never saw the light of day because someone thought, what if I fail? How many people live with regret because they never took their shot? Don't let that be you. The difference between the winners and the ones who never make it isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't even intelligence. It's persistence. It's the ability to keep showing up, to keep pushing forward, to keep making progress, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Remember this. Michael Jordan missed over 9,000 shots in his career. He lost nearly 300 games. 26 times he was trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. But did he stop? No. He said, I have failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. That is the mindset you need. That is the power of progress over perfection. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to be the best today. But you do need to take action. You do need to commit to being just 1% better than you were yesterday. And if you do that every single day, where will you be in a year? In 5 years? You will be unstoppable. Because the ones who win in life aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who fall, learn, and rise again stronger, smarter, more resilient than before. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop telling yourself that you'll start when you're ready. You will never feel ready. That's the trick your mind plays on you. But the moment you take that first step, the moment you commit to progress over perfection, you take control of your destiny. And one day you'll look back at where you started and you'll realize something powerful. You were never supposed to be perfect. You were supposed to grow. You were supposed to evolve. You were supposed to become something greater than you ever imagined. So go, take your shot, chase your dreams, and make the world remember your name.